Picture this. A quiet summer afternoon in 1976, a school bus filled with 26 children, ages 5 to 14, is making its usual rounds in the small town of Chowchilla, California. Suddenly, a white van blocks the road. 3 masked men with guns stormed the bus. This isn't a scene from a movie. It's the beginning of the largest mass kidnapping for ransom in U.S. history. The bus driver, Frank Ed Ray, and all 26 children were forced into 2 dark vans and driven for 11 agonizing hours. Their destination, a rock quarry in Livermore, California. There they were forced one by one down a ladder into a buried moving van, a makeshift underground prison intended to be their tomb. The masterminds were 3 young men from wealthy local families, Fred Woods and the brothers James and Richard Schoenfeld. Their plan was simple, yet sinister: bury the children and their driver alive and demand a $5 million ransom to fix their own financial woes. With the children entombed, the kidnappers went to take a nap, confident their victims were trapped, but they underestimated the resilience of the human spirit. Inside the suffocating darkness of the buried truck, the driver, Ed Ray, refused to give up. He, along with some of the older children, began to stack dusty mattresses left inside the van. They created a makeshift platform, climbing on top of each other, pushing and clawing at the heavy metal hatch above them. For hours they worked, their small hands raw, their lungs burning from the stale air. Finally, with a monumental effort, they managed to pry open the lid and dig their way out of the dirt. Miraculously, all 27 hostages emerged from their would-be grave, traumatized but alive. They had saved themselves. The kidnappers were later caught and sentenced to life in prison, but for the survivors, the psychological scars would last a lifetime. The Chowchilla case is a terrifying story of greed and evil, but also an incredible testament to courage and survival. Sadly, it's not the only one of its kind. History is filled with chilling accounts of mass abductions and long-term captivity that test the limits of human endurance. Let's look at another harrowing incident that happened just a few years earlier across the world in Australia. In 1972, at the Faraday School in Victoria, a teacher named Mary Gibbs and her 6 young students were abducted at gunpoint. They were taken to a remote shed and held captive. The kidnappers' demands weren't clear, but the terror was very real. After 30 terrifying hours, Mary Gibbs hatched a plan. With incredible bravery, she persuaded their captor to let her take the children to a nearby car, under the pretense of calling their parents to reassure them. The kidnapper, perhaps underestimating her, agreed. Once they were out of the shed and near the road, Mary and the children made a run for it. They flagged down a passing car and escaped to safety. Her quick thinking and courage saved not only her life but the lives of all her students. These stories of quick escapes are astonishing, but what happens when captivity stretches from days into years, or even decades? Let's turn to a case that shocked the city of Cleveland, Ohio. Between 2002 and 2004, 3 young women, Michelle Knight, Amanda Berry, and Gina DeJesus, vanished from the same neighborhood. For nearly a decade, the world had no idea where they were. The truth was more horrifying than anyone could have imagined. They were being held captive inside a regular suburban house by a man named Ariel Castro. For years, they endured unimaginable abuse, isolated from the world just a few miles from their homes. During her captivity, Amanda Berry even gave birth to a daughter. Their prison was a house of horrors, but their hope never died. One day in 2013, Amanda Berry saw her chance. Castro had left the house, and she noticed a small gap in the front door. She screamed for help, pounding on the door until a neighbor heard her cries. He helped her break down the lower part of the door, and she and her young daughter scrambled to freedom. Her first words on the phone to 911 were, "I'm Amanda Berry. I've been missing for 10 years. I'm here. I'm free now." Her escape led to the rescue of Michelle and Gina, ending a decade-long nightmare. The psychological toll of such long-term captivity is immense. Imagine being stolen from the world as a child and growing up in a secret prison. This was the reality for Natasha Kampusch in Vienna, Austria. In 1998, at just 10 years old, she was walking to school when she was snatched and thrown into a van. Her captor held her for 8 long years in a tiny, windowless cellar hidden beneath his garage. It was a space barely large enough to live in, completely cut off from sunlight and the outside world. He controlled every aspect of her life, but as she grew older, her desire for freedom grew stronger. In 2006, her captor was momentarily distracted by a phone call while she was outside in the garden. Seizing the opportunity she had been waiting for, Natasha ran. She ran and didn't look back, eventually flagging down a neighbor who called the police. After 3,096 days of captivity, she was finally free. Her story became one of the most famous and studied cases of long-term abduction and the complex psychology of survival. Just as harrowing as the story of J.C. Lee Juchard in 1991, at age 11, she was abducted near her home in Myers, California. For the next 18 years, she was held captive in a hidden compound of tents and sheds in her kidnapper's backyard, just 120 miles from where her life was stolen. The world moved on, but JC's life was frozen in a horrific state of limbo. During her 18 years in captivity, she gave birth to 2 daughters, both fathered by her abductor. Her existence was a complete secret, hidden in plain sight. The breakthrough came in 2009 when her captor's strange behavior drew the suspicion of a university campus police officer. This led to an investigation that finally uncovered the hidden backyard compound and JC and her 2 daughters. After 18 years, she was finally reunited with her family. Her story is a powerful reminder that even after so many years, hope for rescue should never be abandoned. From a buried school bus to a hidden backyard, these stories are deeply disturbing, yet they all carry a common thread of incredible human resilience. The courage of Ed Ray, the quick-wittedness of Mary Gibbs, the desperate bravery of Amanda Berry, and the sheer will to live of Natasha Kampusch and JC Lee Jugged are powerful testaments to the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable darkness. These survivors didn't just endure, they fought back, they escaped, and they reclaimed their lives. Their stories force us to confront the darkest aspects of human nature, but also inspire us with their unbelievable strength. Thank you for watching. If you found this exploration of survival and resilience compelling, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into incredible true stories. See you next time.